everyone. We're now officially live. What's up, everyone? On YouTube, welcome back to Trails on the Spectrum, and welcome back to another episode of the Off Road Campground Podcast. In this episode, we are going to be talking about preparing for fall 2026 trail rides. Because as you know, summer is quickly coming up onto a close. Hope you guys enjoyed your 2026 summer trail rides. I didn't get to because my dad was working, my mom's working, we're all working during the summer. But it's time that we start prepping for fall 2026 trail rides. Getting the side by side and getting everything ready for going to Carolina Adventure World and Riverneck, maybe Riverneck, and other trail systems like Windrock in Tennessee and Durhamtown in Georgia, as well as the Hatfield McCoy trails up in West Virginia. I'll be able to do that in the fall, also the winter, which we'll get to the winter later on in the fall. Like we'll do, like once every season. At the end of each season, we'll prepare for the next season of trail rides and do like an updated guide. So basically, fall trail rides require a lot of stuff. Then for the summer, the spring, and what's really cool about fall 2026 trail rides, the leaves will be changing colors. It'll be getting cooler, and have a nice atmosphere to go trail riding. Because I remember in November, early November of last year, went to Riverneck, and the trees were absolutely beautiful, changing colors. But they started to become more and more bare as we got to other trail rides, even in January and March. Well, March, spring was there, and the weather was a lot warmer, and a lot of other stuff. I mean, it was really, really awesome. Back in the spring, like early spring. So, preparing for the fall 2026 means we have to make sure our machines are serviced, make sure we have plenty of food. We can go to food, like you can go to Food Lion, you can go to any other grocery store, you can go to Walmart, pick up some snacks, some food at Walmart, and like you don't really have to do hamburgers and hot dogs. You can do anything you want, but you have to get some stuff that's easily cooked on the griddle, put it there on the porch, and cook it. So maybe look up. Let me see. We'll use Gemini. Create a list of different foods to take when you're trail riding in a side by side for dinner, breakfast, lunch. We'll edit. When staying in a cabin. Okay, so here we go. Packing food for a UTV or side by side trip. It's all about balancing durability, ease, and quick prep. You want food that won't turn to mush when balanced around in a cooler, where cargo bed requirements minimal cleanup and keeps your energy on the trail. Here are breakdowns of practical, delicious options tailored for cabin cooking and mid-ride lunch stops. So they're requesting or they're suggesting breakfast burritos, scrambled eggs, bacon or sausage, shredded cheese, and hash browns. Wrap them tightly in foil. But I mean, you can also have those. When you actually put them on a plate if you wanted to. Trail hack. Mm. I like to go and eat before I get on the trail. Pancake batter in a squeeze bottle. No. Breakfast sandwich preps, instant oatmeal, steak and eggs. That could work. Lunch. Oh, that's on the trail. Create a list of foods you can cook on a griddle and eat at the cabin while sitting at their provided table. Because this is before you go on the trail. A griddle like a Blackstone or a heavy cast iron flat top is one of the best tools for cabin cooking. It lets you cook big batches all at once. Keep heat and lingering grease smells out of the cabin. Cooks food that's easy to serve family style right at the outdoor or indoor table. Man, here's some create a list of top griddle meals. So for breakfast, like when you get up in the morning, smash hash browns and bacon. Ooh, crisp up shredded hash browns or tater tots. Nah, I like to have them regular, alongside thick cut bacon, sausage links, and sunny side up eggs. No, I like my eggs scrambled. When I first get up in the morning before I head on the trail, the ultimate dinner breakfast: pancakes, French toast, or crepes made alongside scrambles. Served with bowls of warm syrup. Breakfast quesadillas slash burritos. Maybe. I mean, if I'm up for it. Loaded, yeah, loaded omelets or scrambled lunch. I guess that's before, like after we're done riding the trails in the morning, we can come back to the cabin and have things like classic smash burgers, Philly cheesesteaks, chicken or steak fajitas, hibachi slash fried rice night, patty melts, and gourmet grilled cheese. Or for lunch, you can do what my dad and what me and my dad do is bring bread, ham, maybe bologna and cheese, and make sandwiches. Something that's easy, lightweight, and it won't fill you up before you head back on the trail. Because it takes an hour to an hour and a half or so to get through the entire trail. Sides and extras on toss and the griddle. Um, yeah, corn on the cob or off the cob. You can do nah. A lot of these I guess what me and my dad usually do is we make burgers and hot dogs because they're easy to make and quick to make, especially when after a long trail ride, we don't have time to go back and cook dinner after riding the trail. And I guess when it comes to clothing, yeah, when it comes to clothing, um, for the fall would be more long sleeve stuff because the weather's be cooler. But usually in the early to mid fall, it's usually still warm. Create a list of the necessary clothing for trail riding in the fall. Let's see what Gemini is suggesting. Because for me, I like to have long sleeve shirts, pants. Actually, that's not it. For UTV, trail riding in the fall. For me, it'd be a long sleeve, like, shirt, some pants. Boots, socks to go along with the boots, helmet, goggles. I don't really bring goggles since I don't really need goggles all that much. Upper bar. Okay, so base layer. Okay. Synthetic or mineral wool long sleeve shirt. Avoid cotton, which traps sweat and chills your skin as temperatures drop. Mid layer, okay, insulation, fleece, pullover, lightly down sweater, or soft shell jacket to trap body heat without bulk. Outer shell, wide wind and water protection, heavy duty. At 30 miles per hour makes 50 degrees feel like freezing. Usually in the south, it's still pretty warm in the fall. Like it's still pretty hot. Lower body. So basically, um, let me see. I mean, usually I bring like two long sleeve shirts, two pairs of pants, but I do like to bring things like in the spring and the summer. I like to bring like shorts, a long sleeve or a short sleeve shirt, and just clothing that I personally don't really mind getting dirty on the trail. Because there's even parts of the trail where it's like Carolina Adventure, where it's like River Neck, where it's nothing but off roading. It's kind of more of an off road part than anything else. So during the mid to late fall into the winter, I'll definitely be bringing short or long sleeve shirts, pants, my boots, maybe some shorts, some shorter boots, some short riding boots. I got my helmet, which I have to wear at certain off road parks, like maybe Georgia, Tennessee, half of McCoy trails. At least I have it just in case I need to, wear my helmet. But if you want to know what to do before the fall 2026 trail rides, and you want to know how to service, you can actually go to my service episode. Yeah, you can actually go to my episode for the Off Road Campground podcast. That's all about. Let me see if I can find it here. Podcasts, Off Road Campground. We talked about. Oh, here we go. From 3 months ago, you can check that out, and that'll be your guide. Before going onto the trails for the fall, and you got plenty of time. You got the rest of July into August, September, October. Yeah, plenty of time, and you can go to the DIY service versus professional service, like going to your local off-road power sports dealership, and they have a service department. Like for me, I go to um, Redline Power Sports on Highway 501, and that's where I go to get my Razor serviced before the big trail, before the big trail rides. Because I usually ride around my yard in the fall. Well, not really the fall, but in the summer, in the mid to late spring, and then once we get to trail riding in the fall, I guess it's time for a service because I'm pretty much riding my side by side almost every day, unless it's raining or way too hot. Then yeah, I'll leave it in the garage. So it's always good to get the fluids, the belts, just the entire side by side or the entire machine serviced. Things to get serviced on a side by side before big trail rides. Okay, getting stuck on trail turns. Yeah, getting stuck on the trail turns a great weekend into a long recovery mission. A through pre-ride inspect and service check will keep your side by side reliable when you're miles away from the staging area. Okay, dry belt and CBT. Inspect the belt, remove the clutch cover, and check for cracks, missing teeth, glazed sides, or fraying edges if it has over 1,500 to 2,000 miles, which mine has almost 1,000 miles, so it's definitely getting there. Or took a beating on the last trip, replace it now. Blow out clutch dust. Yeah, blow out clutch dust. Use compressed air to clean dust and debris out of the primary and secondary clutches. Pack a spare. Always carry a broken in spare belt, a belt changing tool, and the socket needed to remove your clutch cover belts or cover bolts. Number two is vital fluids and filters. Your engine oil. Check level and color. Change the oil and filter if you are close to the service interval, usually around 50 hours or 1,000 miles. Differential and transmission fluids. Inspect front differential, rear gear case, and transmission levels. Look for milky fluid, which signals water contamination through breather hoses. Coolant. Top off the reservoir and check hoses for soft spots or leaks. Make sure the radiator fins are clean and clear of dried mud to prevent overheating. Air filter. Clean or replace the air filter element. A clogged air filter starves the engine and risks letting fine dust pass into the intake. Number 3 is the steering, the suspension, and bearings. Wheel bearings and ball joints. Jack up each corner of the side by side and shake the wheel vertically and horizontally. Any play indicates worn wheel bearings, ball joints, or tie rod ends. CV boots or axles. Check all 8 rubber CV belts for tears, cracks, or loose bands. A torn boot flings grease out and lets grit in, destroying the CV joint. Grease zerk fittings. Pump fresh marine grade grease into all A-arm bushings, sway bar links, and drive shaft grease points until fresh grease pushes out old dirt. And there's a lot of this stuff you have to do before your first fall 2026 trail ride. Lug nuts and torque. Check torque on all lug nuts. Typically 75 to 100 pound-feet of torque, depending on the breadth or bed lock or standard wheel specs. Brakes and tires, like brake pads and rotors, tire pressure and tread. Electrical, battery health, and lights and winches. And then before your first trail ride of the fall, make sure you service and check at least 3 to 4 days before you head out, because you don't want to be on the trail and have something go wrong. That's why I personally get my side-by-side serviced before my first trail ride, so nothing goes wrong when I'm out on the trail, especially going on different types of trails: rocks, dirt, mud, hills, all that stuff. Because with Carolina Adventure World, we can really see what the side-by-side can really do. And don't forget entertainment. I just bought something on eBay that came in the mail today that will really help with downtime in your cabin. If you're staying in a cabin, or you can even take this into and maybe an RV or a tent. And that is a portable DVD player. Wow, looks like the battery is not charged. But this is basically used to, before the announcement that Apple's getting rid of the portable DVD player app, or the DVD player app, I used to make my computer into a portable DVD player. Now I have a standard, standalone, dedicated DVD player. And you can bring movies, because I know in a cabin, in a tent, and an RV, you won't have Wi-Fi. So getting a portable DVD player really is a lifesaver. Let's say I want to watch movies like, I don't know, because for the fall, let's say I want to bring Halloween Town. I can take my portable DVD player. This is after you take a shower, eating dinner, and you're just relaxing in the bed. Taking your DVD and watching a movie before bed. Pop in the disc. Close it up. Press play. It loads up the disc. And now you got yourself a little mini movie station to take with you on the go. Because I know at Carolina Adventure World, there's not going to be any Wi-Fi. There's no cell service. this is the best way to watch your content is by bringing a handful of DVDs to last you a day or so, maybe last you the entire trip. Having a few movies per night is perfect, especially if you're not going to have internet. So a portable DVD player will really help save your life, especially with the fall and the Macs, especially if you have a Mac. Used to bring your DVDs, your external or internal, well, your external disk drive, plug into your laptop, put it in, and away you go. All your entire movie collection was right there on your computer. 15-inch screen, really good sound quality. But it's always good to go back to the basics of getting a portable DVD player, especially when you're just laying in the cabin and you have a few hours before bed, before you have to get up the next morning, go trail riding. You can always watch a movie on a portable DVD player, especially for Halloween. There's plenty of Halloween movies you can bring. Like I got Corpse Bride, I got Halloween Town, I got Addams Family 2. I've got all my childhood Halloween movies like Goosebumps, those I bought recently, or my childhood ones, which are, let's see here, Haunted Mansion with Eddie Murphy. That's a good movie. Monster House. Alvin the Chipmunks Meet Frankenstein. That's a good short movie to watch. Especially if you don't have that much time, you can watch Alvin the Chipmunks. I can watch Alvin the Chipmunks Meet Frankenstein. I can watch E.T., Casper, Dark Shadows, Scared Shrekless, another kid short film. Beetlejuice, The Goonies, Paranorman, The Box Trolls, The Halloween Tree. That's a good one. All the way to Hotel Transylvania. The first one. I even got the second one and third one, both on Blu-ray and DVD. So any kids movie or any Blu-ray DVD combo pack, I can bring those movies, bring those Halloween movies. Ernest Scared Stupid, Tower of Terror. Ooh. That's more of a kid's horror type film. Talking about the Hollywood Tower Hotel that you would see at Hollywood Studios. They basically made a movie back in the 90s. So there's the movie Tower of Terror, sing-along songs, Happy Haunting, and Mickey's House of Villains. Good for that fall night on the after a long day on the trail. Or I can watch things like the Nicktoons Halloween. I can watch all these great movies. I can even pack movies that I've watched before and rewatch them again if I wanted to watch them again. So there's plenty of things you can bring to pass the time. I think you can bring like board games, you can bring this, you can bring that, you can bring all kinds of stuff for trail riding, especially when you get to the fall. So there's just a lot to do to prepare for the next couple of months as we get to the fall 2026 trail rides. The weather's going to be cooler. It's not going to be as hot and miserable on the trail, especially with the engine getting hot. There's just a lot that you can do to prepare your machine and prepare for the camping. Because I know a lot of us who want to camp, we can go camping in a cabin. So it's a good thing I have a DVD player that actually works. If not, then I had 2 months. 2 months to get a brand new DVD player before we start leaving for Carolina Adventure World. Maybe 3 months, 4 months. I got until then to get a new DVD player, but we actually found one that worked, so I got lucky. I guess I had to find one that wasn't a slot loader, but a one you could put onto the spindle, close up the door, and it'll read the disc. I mean, it read it instantly. After cleaning my DVD player laser lens, this is something you can bring with you to clean your DVD player. Because it says here, keep optical lens clean and dust free. And it works with, it's recommended for CDR, CDRW, CD-ROM, and DVD. So this is actually a good handful, useful tool to carry around with you, especially if you have a portable DVD player. You can bring this for a portable DVD player. Like this is a Philips laser lens cleaner that helps clean the laser lens of a DVD player, CD player, which I don't know why you would use it with a CD player, but a lot of us who watch physical movies, yeah, you can use this for the DVD player. So whenever I go camping, I'm actually going to pack this in my bag as a spare backup disc if something does go wrong with the laser lens and it's having trouble reading the disc. We'll pop this disc into there and it'll read it like it should. I don't know if I had to do it once. I don't know what, but it's always going to carry this thing around just in case, to have a disc that would actually clean the lens so you can continue watching movies on your trip. So I'm going to put that right there for now. So that's one thing you can bring with you when you go camping, like in a cabin or wherever. Always bring this because I know the elements will cover the laser lens, and you have to keep it cleaned just in case for any mishap. Especially if you're in a tent. I guess that's why you always close it all up so you protect yourself from the elements like the grass, the dirt, the sand. Because I did ride over by the campsite. Yeah, I did ride over by the campsite, and yeah, they're not that big, so you can always bring this. And I would not recommend using that DVD player when you're eating at your picnic table, especially if you're staying in an RV and you have a portable DVD player. Do not bring it out. Make sure you keep it inside, away from dust, dirt. Then you'll be using this disc a lot more often to keep the player clean, because it'll be open and it'll be exposed to the elements. So I'm going to keep my DVD player in the cabin, and at least it's protected from dirt, dust, any of the elements outside. I can always bring this, just in case I need to clean the laser lens again. And it's a good tool to have, especially if you're watching movies on physical media during your downtime. This is actually a good tool to have, is this laser lens cleaner, or any laser lens cleaner. I'll have to get me a new laser lens cleaner for DVDs. Grab a DVD laser lens cleaner off of Amazon. But I think this one will also work as well. I think this one's about to go, because no matter what, really works anymore because it skips over track 4 and it just goes through track 5 when it's not supposed to be doing that. So I think this one's about to go, and I'll have to get me a new laser lens cleaner, one made for specifically for DVD players, I guess, to help with video quality and sound quality over time. I mean, it all comes down to, it all comes to, I mean, it's all part of collecting physical media, especially if you go, trail riding. You gotta have the necessary tools like this laser lens cleaner or a different laser lens cleaner, your movies, pretty much anything, your portable DVD player. But also, when you're taking a shower, make sure you bring body wash, shampoo, and I think they give you washcloths, towels. They give you all kinds of goodies, especially when you're staying in a cabin. So it's always going to bring toiletries, even when you're going out on the trail. Make sure you bring deodorant. You probably won't need hair gel, like I do. I mean, I guess I'll just leave my hair gel at the house every time I go trail riding because I probably don't need it because my hair's going to end up getting flat anyway. So I might as well not bring the hair gel when I go trail riding. I'll just leave my hair the way it is, like it is right now. So when it comes to taking a shower, you gotta always be prepared for what is to come down the road. And that is a smaller tub and shower combo where you have to bend down to wash, especially if you're a much taller person like I am. You have to really bend down. But for, I guess, kids who go riding, doesn't really matter to them. But for us who are taller, we have to bend down. And it's not as easy to go and take a shower in the cabin after a long day on the trail, and you need to wash, wash yourself and, take a shower, get freshened up. There's just a lot to prepare for the fall 2026 trail rides, including maybe even some longer sleeve pajamas. Like you can pack some Halloween pajamas as well, which is definitely a good thing, to have clothing that will match the season. And what's also really cool is you can bring coffee. You can bring your own coffee. Make yourself a cup of coffee before heading out on the trail with maybe some pumpkin spice or, any fall flavored creamer you can find at a store. You can make yourself a cup of fall coffee before heading out on the trail. But I think they have coffee cups already there. You can make yourself a cup of coffee, pour in some fall flavored creamer, maybe some Splenda, maybe some sugar, whatever you like to put into it, and have a nice fall flavored coffee. Or if you like neither cream or sugar, or cream or Splenda, not cream, but without, if you don't like neither sugar or Splenda, the sweetener, you can always pour in maybe a little bit of creamer for flavor, and just drink it the way it is, and it'll taste all fall, and it'll really feel like fall when you're going camping or wherever. But I guess if you're staying in a tent, there's no really need to bring a coffee maker, or I guess that's why I was like staying in a cabin, because with cabins they have a shower, a tub, even bring some toothpaste, a toothbrush to brush your teeth at night, because they have a sink and a mirror. I always like to stay in the little bedroom. And for the portable DVD player, you could bring an extension cord to go from the portable DVD player over to the outlet that's right there on the side. I'll bring a small extension cord that I can bring with me to power up the portable DVD player. So that'd be kind of cool. So we don't stretch out the cord. Even my computer's power cord wasn't long enough to reach over to the outlet. Ugh. So there's just a lot of stuff to prepare for. And the best times to brush your teeth is in the morning and at night. So twice a day for your entire trip. And if you're going for maybe a fall night ride, I was actually taking a look at some fall events that are happening in the fall. Yeah, let me check. Carolina Adventure World. Okay, so let's go to the calendar, events calendar, and we're going to scroll all the way down here to, as we close out, um, let's see, for the fall, starting in September, there's a Labor Day weekend at Carolina Adventure World. That's kind of like late summer, late summer into the early fall. Fall really starts in October, where you got a night ride on the 24th of October with a Halloween duck hunt and Halloween bash. I guess it's for a lot of families to go and go. Let's actually go to Gemini. What is Carolina Adventure World's duck hunt and Halloween bash? So basically, what this is, yeah, Carolina Adventure World's Halloween Bash and Duck Hunt is an annual fall event hosted by Carolina Adventure World, an off-road vehicle park in Winnsboro, South Carolina. The event combines Halloween themed festivities with nighttime off-road riding, and an interactive treasure hunt along the park's trails. Oh, here we go. The duck hunt. What it is? What it is. Hundreds of custom rubber ducks are hidden across Carolina Adventure World's 100 plus miles of ATV/UTV trails. That is actually really cool. How to play. Riders register at the Welcome Center, usually paying a small entry fee that often includes an event T-shirt. Throughout the day, riders collect as many hidden ducks as they can find while exploring the trails. Prizes. At the end of the day, collected ducks are turned in to be tallied by park staff. The first grand prize is $1,000 cash. Cha-ching. Runner-up prizes: riding gear, park passes, vehicle passes, and gift certificates. And this will be basically the first true event of the fall next to or after Memorial Day. Because after it's Labor Day. After Labor Day, that's pretty much the end of summer. Halloween festivities and competitions, costume contests. Riders dress up in Halloween costumes to compete for prizes such as riding helmets, goggles, and park passes. Spook campsite contests. Visitors camping on site decorate their RVs, tents, or for a chance to win best decorated campsite. Evening event or evening entertainment and night ride. Night ride. After dark, the park opens its trails for night riding and Arrowhead Pavilion Party. Live DJs or musical acts perform at the park's pavilion, accompanied by bonfires, food, and lights. Woo! That's really cool. And then, of course, they have um, Thanksgiving and, of course, Christmas. Which is basically the late fall into the early winter. We'll talk about that later. So, when you're doing that, you have to make sure you buy a costume. Because I know Spirit of Halloween is open a lot during the month of October. So, you got pretty much the entire month to go and grab your Halloween costume before you actually go to Carolina Adventure World for their costume contest, or actually make your own costume, which I know a lot of us don't know how to do. It's always going to create something like get different pieces at Spirit Halloween and really go out. Imagine last Halloween if I dressed up like Chef Ramsay. Just imagine how that would be. It's raw, raw. Oh, that would crack people up at Carolina Adventure World. So there's a lot to do at Carolina Adventure World in the fall. But me and my dad usually like to go on the off days when not too many people are there, because we like to just take our time. We like to cruise. We like to go our own speed. And going trail riding with other people is a nightmare, especially when there's other vehicles on the trail. That is going to be a nightmare. Especially with my four-seater side by side. Even when pushing down hard on my brake, riding the brake, sometimes it just. I mean, it's really hard to get down the. Yeah, it's really hard to get down the hill. So before I even make my descent, I'll put it into four-wheel drive. Especially if it's a really, like, deep descend. But it's just whatever. That's another thing when you're going trail riding. You always gotta find when to use, or when and where to use the four-wheel drive, whether to put into high gear or low gear, depending on what you're doing. Especially at Carolina Adventure World. Carolina Adventure World is the most technical trail system I've ever been on. It's got to know when and where to go into four-wheel drive or high gear or low gear, like four-wheel high or four-wheel low. I mean, four-wheel low is kind of like good for climbing steep hills, and four-wheel high is to get through like tough mud. Like when we get to that red clay, I'll be sure to put into four-wheel high, so have even number. So when it comes to put into low gear, high gear, it's basically a gear lever. So putting it into four wheel low, four wheel high, because high gear is actually towards this way, and then one up is kind of like low gear, and then we got neutral and park, and then yeah, so it's basically on a rubber belt. So doing this, getting into high gear, because it really takes a lot of force to put into high gear, and then put into four wheel drive is good for like mudding, because you're not on soft ground anymore. You're going off roading. So I guess when going with the right clay, I guess putting a four wheel drive might be a lot easier to put power on all four tires to get through the mud. Because sometimes it's really hard to get through through that red clay. So we got to pull it into four wheel drive once we get to that part of the trail. And then a month after our first trail ride, we get the side by side street legal. There'll be a lot more adventures, not just on the trail, but also on the road, which is great for things like the half of McCoy trails. We can pretty much take it on the road and go riding around, around um, Beckley, West Virginia, or wherever that's near the trail system. And we can't, like, if it's near, like, if the trails are near a town, we can, drive around on the road if we get it street legal, which is pretty cool. Take it out on the road. But if we're traveling more than 10 miles, put on the trailer and haul it somewhere else. And then take it off the trailer once we get to our destination and go right, go cruising. I'm not sure where we would park our truck, with our 16-foot trailer. So that comes in November, which we'll talk about in the next episode of getting your side by side street legal. And this will be mainly talking to the viewers who live here in South Carolina. Anywhere in South Carolina. It could be Columbia, it could be Florence, it could be Conway, Myrtle Beach, North Myrtle Beach, maybe alongside the Grand Strand. And maybe even for someone who hasn't thought about picking up a side by side, but would love to because of the new street legal law that's going into effect in November. So we'll talk more about that and what to expect when going, riding in a side by side on the road, which is something I probably won't be doing because I don't have a driver's license. So it's either my mom gonna be driving. Yeah, it's be my mom driving or my dad driving. If we have to go somewhere, and we want to take the side by side, and we'll talk more about that in the next episode as we get closer and closer to really making this a reality, because the law has already been passed. It's just not going to effect until November. I guess you still have a lot of kinks to work out for things like distance, maybe. It's just there's a lot of things to work out when before going on the road. But it's a good thing that 378 was lowered down to 45, which is definitely within the recommended speed limit for a side by side. I'm not sure if that was the state's intention, but we'll do some research and see what we got. But other than that, the fall is definitely the best time of year to go trail riding, especially if you don't have kids that are in school. A lot of us who don't have kids or don't have to worry about working, we can actually go to Carolina Adventure World or River Neck or wherever and go trail riding in the fall because you see the leaves change colors, the weather's changing. Another thing is your soundtrack. The soundtrack changes as well because we almost forgot. Especially when you go to Apple Music or Spotify or wherever you listen to your music, you can actually go and find your Halloween playlist. If you don't have one already, you can actually look one up and make yourself a Halloween trail ride playlist of songs that might work well for trail riding during the Halloween month or the month of Halloween or during the fall. And during November, that's when we start playing Christmas music, is in November 1st. Come up with some songs perfect for fall 2026 trail rides. Come up with some Halloween songs perfect for fall 2026 trail rides. Ghost Riders in the Sky by Johnny Cash. Gravedigger by Willie Nelson. The Man Comes Around, Johnny Cash. Bottom of the River, Delta Ray. Bark of the Moon, Ozzy Osbourne. Dragula by Rob Zombie. Psycho Killer by Talking Heads. Running with the Devil, Van Halen. And Thriller by Michael Jackson. Monster Mash. Bobby Boris Pickett. Hands Will Roll by Yeah, Yeah, Yeahs. UTV. UTV. Yeah, UTV trail rides. Oh, here we go. Staging and warm up the engine. Hell's Bells. The slow bell toll sets an incredible October vibe, followed by one of the cleanest driving guitar riffs ever recorded. And I would also do Dragula by Rob Zombie, the undisputed kickoff off-road Halloween track. The industrial bass rumble hits hard over any engine. Hand Will Roll by Yeah Yeah Yeahs. A track remix. High tempo, energy electronic energy with relentless bass drops. Perfect for wide open straights. Wow. Cruising Back to the Camp. Psycho Killer. Voodoo. I don't know that one. Don't Feel the Reaper. But I actually have a ton of music in my Halloween playlist based on what I've heard on Halloween radio on iHeartRadio. I have it there, and I can also listen to Halloween radio on iHeartRadio through Apple Music and kind of stream that radio station the entire trail ride. For Christmas, I like to listen to iHeart Christmas or my Christmas playlist or whatever. Physical media, we'll talk about that, why physical media has been put into side-by-sides. Maybe we'll talk about that in the next episode or so. Or maybe not. I'm still thinking right now of what I want to talk about, moving forward. But I really wanted to do this as a fall 2026 guide to getting yourself prepared for the for off-roading. But hope you guys enjoyed this quick little episode of the Off-Road Campground podcast on the Trails on the Spectrum YouTube channel. Make sure you check out Trails on the Spectrum on TikTok as well as here on YouTube. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and the notification bell so you get notified when I upload a brand new video or I start going live again next week as we do another episode of the Off-Road Campground podcast. And we'll see you guys next time. Peace.